ENCLAPSലേക്കുള്ള വഴി ഇനി തനിയെ തുറക്കാം. Subscribe to the ENCLAPS channel. Ring the bell button and open success. It's that easy.
Hi. You are very familiar with the element carbon, aren't you? You have learnt about the vast world of carbon itself. The high catenation ability and ability to form different bonds with other elements differentiates carbon from other elements. Therefore, carbon is found in many compounds. In order to know more about these compounds, there is a special branch in chemistry. It is called organic chemistry. So, what is organic chemistry? Organic chemistry is a branch of chemistry that includes the studies of the structure, properties and reactions of organic compounds. Organic compounds are hydrocarbons and their derivatives. Then, in addition to carbon and hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur, silicon and halogens are also present in organic compounds. Organic compounds are the major constituent of many substances that we use in our day-to-day life. So, let's study more about these compounds. Okay. What is the valency of carbon? 4, right? Carbon shares its 4 electrons with other atoms during chemical bonding. We have 3 structures here. In the first structure, there is 1 carbon atom, and in the second and third structure, there are 2 carbon atoms. In the first structure, the 4 valencies of carbon atom are free, right? But in the second structure, there is a double bond between the carbon atom, right? And there also the 4 valencies of 2 carbon atom are free. Then in the third structure, there is a triple bond between 2 carbon atom, right? Then what will be the structure we get if the hydrogen atom are added to this structure? In the first structure, we need 4 hydrogen atom in order to complete the valency of carbon atom, right? In the second structure, they need 4 hydrogen atom to complete the valency of 2 carbon atoms there, right? But what about the third structure? There is a triple bond between 2 carbon atom, right? The first carbon atom need only 1 hydrogen to satisfy its 4 valency. And in the second carbon atom, there also need 1 hydrogen atom to complete the valency of that carbon atom. So, in total, in that structure, we need 2 hydrogen atoms to complete the valencies of 2 carbon atoms, right? Then, what are the characteristics of the compounds we have now? What are the atoms present in these compounds? Yes, carbon and hydrogen. So, they have a common name. They are called hydrocarbons. What are hydrocarbons? The compound that contains only carbon and hydrogen are called hydrocarbons. We can classify these hydrocarbons into 2. Before that, look into these compounds. How many carbon atoms are present? 2, right? Then what about the number of hydrogen atoms? It is different, right? Then in the first structure, there is single bond between 2 carbon atoms. In the first carbon atom, there is 3 hydrogen atoms, and in the second carbon also, there are 3 hydrogen atoms. Then what about the second structure? In the second structure, there are 2 carbon atoms and there is a double bond between the 2 carbon atoms, right? In the first carbon atom, there are 2 hydrogen atoms, and in the second carbon atom, there are 2 hydrogen atoms. Then what about the third structure? there is a triple bond between two carbon atoms, right? In the first carbon atom, there is only one hydrogen, and the second carbon atom, there is only one hydrogen. Do you know how the hydrocarbons are classified into two? Yes, the class of compounds that contains only single bond between carbon atom. Then next type of compounds that contains double bond and triple bond between carbon atoms. Each type of compounds have common name. If the compound contains single bond between the carbon atoms, then it is called alkane. If double bond is present, then it is called alkene. Then if triple bond is present, then it is called alkyne. So what are alkane, alkene and alkyne? Alkane, the open chain hydrocarbons having only single bond between the carbon atoms are called alkanes. Then what are alkenes? The open chain hydrocarbons having a double bond between any two carbon atoms are called alkenes. Then what are alkynes? The open chain hydrocarbons having triple bond between any two carbon atoms are called alkynes. Clear? Then tell me, which are the two types of hydrocarbons? The two types of hydrocarbons are saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Then what are saturated hydrocarbons? They are hydrocarbons that contain only single bond between carbon atoms. They are the simplest class of hydrocarbons. Can you tell me the examples? Yes, alkanes are saturated hydrocarbons. Then unsaturated hydrocarbons. They are hydrocarbons that have double or triple bonds between adjacent carbon atoms. Alkenes and alkynes are unsaturated hydrocarbons. We have three compounds here. We have to write the molecular formula of these compounds. In the first compound, there are two carbon atoms, and in that compound, in the first carbon atom, there are three hydrogen atoms, and in the second carbon also, there are three hydrogen atoms. So total 2 carbon atoms and 6 hydrogen atoms. What will be the molecular formula? Yes, C2H6. Then in the second compound, there are 2 carbon atoms and there is a double bond between 2 carbon atoms. In the first carbon atom, there are 2 hydrogen atoms, and in the second carbon also, there are 2 hydrogen atoms. So what will be the molecular formula? Total 2 carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atoms. That is, the molecular formula is C2H4. Then in the third compound, there are 2 carbon atoms, and in the first carbon atom, there is only 1 hydrogen, and there is a triple bond between 2 carbon atoms, right? In the second carbon also, there is only 1 hydrogen. So total 2 carbon atom and 2 hydrogen atom. That means the molecular formula is C2H2. Clear? In this way, we can write the molecular formula of these compounds. Now, we can deduce the structure of these compounds into another form. That is called condensed formula. What is called? Condensed formula. Okay. So, now we are going to write the condensed formula of these compounds. In the first carbon atom, there are 3 hydrogen atoms, right? So, CH3, then there is a single bond between 2 carbon atom So single bond. Then next carbon atom C. Then there are 3 hydrogen atoms. So CH3. The condensed formula is CH3 single bond CH3. Then what about the second compound? First carbon atom C. Then there are 2 hydrogen atoms in that carbon atom. So CH2. Then there is a double bond between 2 carbon atoms. So put double bond. We get CH2 double bond. Then next carbon atom C. Then there are 2 hydrogen atoms in that carbon atom. So CH2. What is the condensed formula of that compound? CH2 double bond CH2. Then in the third compound, first carbon atom C, there is only 1 hydrogen atom in that first carbon, right? So we get CH. Then there is a triple bond between 2 carbon atoms. So put triple bond. That means CH triple bond. Then next carbon atom C. Then there is only 1 hydrogen atom in that second carbon. That means CH. So what is the condensed formula? CH triple bond CH. Here is a table. What are given in that table? Yes, structure of some hydrocarbons. We need to find the number of carbon atoms, then condensed formula of that particular compound. Then we have to write the molecular formula. What is the first compound? CH4, right? That means 1 carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atoms are there. So the number of carbon atom is 1. Then what about the condensed formula? 1 carbon atom C and there are 4 hydrogen atom in that carbon. That means the condensed formula is CH4. In the case of this compound, the condensed formula and the molecular formula are the same. That means we get CH4. Then what about the second compound? The first carbon atom, there are 3 hydrogen atoms, second carbon atom, and in that carbon atom there are 2 hydrogen atoms. Then the third carbon atom, in that there are 3 hydrogen atoms. So total 3 carbon atoms. Then what is the condensed formula? First carbon atom, there are 3 hydrogen atoms. So CH3. Then there is a single bond between the second carbon. So CH3 single bond C. There are 2 hydrogen atoms. That means CH2. Then single bond between the next carbon atom. Single bond C. Then there are 3 hydrogen atoms. That means CH3. So the condensed formula is CH3 single bond CH2 single bond CH3. What is the molecular formula? Total 3 carbon atoms and 8 hydrogen atoms. So the molecular formula is C3H8. Then first carbon atom, there are 2 hydrogen atoms. Then there is a double bond between the next carbon atom. In that carbon atom, there is only 1 hydrogen atom. Then the third carbon atom, and there are 3 hydrogen in the third carbon atom. So total 3 carbon atoms. Then we are going to write the condensed formula. First carbon atom, there are 2 hydrogen atoms. So CH2. Then in between there is a double bond. So CH2 double bond. Next carbon atom C. and there is only one hydrogen in that carbon atom, so CH. Then the third carbon atom, there is a single bond between the last two carbon atoms, so put single bond. Then next carbon atom C, and there are 3 hydrogen atoms in that carbon atom, so CH3. That means the condensed formula is CH2 double bond CH single bond CH3. What is the molecular formula? Total 3 carbon atom and 6 hydrogen atoms. So the molecular formula is C3H6. Then first carbon atom, there is one hydrogen in that carbon atom. Then there is a triple bond between the next carbon atom. Then the third carbon atom, in that carbon atom there are 3 hydrogen atoms. So total 3 carbon atoms. Then we are going to write the condensed formula. First carbon atom C, then there is only one hydrogen atom in that carbon atom, so CH. Then put triple bond CH triple bond. Next carbon atom C. Then there is a single bond between the second and third carbon atom, so put single bond. Then the third carbon atom C. Then there are 3 hydrogen atoms in that carbon atom, so CH3. The condensed formula is CH triple bond C single bond CH3. The molecular formula is C3H4. Total 3 carbon atoms and 4 hydrogen atoms. Now we know how to write a condensed formula and molecular formula, right? If condensed formula are given, we can draw the structure of compounds. Let's see some examples. What is the first compound? CH3, CH2, 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 CH3. How many carbon atoms? 5 carbon atoms, right? So first we have to draw the carbon chain. The chain containing 5 carbon atoms. Okay, now we draw the carbon chain. Then we have to fill the hydrogen atoms in that carbon chain. First carbon atom, there are 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay. Then next carbon atom, there are 2 hydrogen atoms. Then the next carbon atom, there are 2 hydrogen atoms. Then the next carbon atom, there are 2 hydrogen atoms. Then the last carbon atom, there are 3 hydrogen atoms. So this is the structure of that compound. Then what about the second structure? The compound is CH3 single bond CH2 single bond CH double bond CH single bond CH3. So there are 5 carbon atoms. Okay, and there is a double bond between the third and fourth carbon atom. First, we have to draw the carbon chain. Don't forget to put the double bond between the third and fourth carbon atoms. Now, the carbon chain is ready. Now, we have to fill the hydrogen atoms in each carbon atoms. In the first carbon atom, there are 3 hydrogen atoms. So, we have to put 3 hydrogen atoms in the first carbon. Then, second carbon, there are 2 hydrogen atoms. Then, in the third carbon atom, there is only 1 hydrogen atom. Then, fourth carbon atom, in that carbon atom, 1 hydrogen. Then, last carbon atom, there are 3 hydrogen atoms. So this is the structure. Then third compound, CH3 single bond C, triple bond C, single bond CH3. First we have to draw the carbon chain. Here there are 4 carbon atoms. Don't forget to put the triple bond between second and third carbon atoms. Okay. So here the carbon chain is ready. Now we have to fill the number of hydrogen atoms in each carbon atoms. In the first carbon atom, there are 3 hydrogen atoms. So we have to put 3 hydrogen atoms in the first carbon. Then in the second carbon and third carbon, there is no hydrogen atoms. Why? Because already the valencies of carbon atoms are filled. Then in the fourth carbon atom, there are 3 hydrogen atoms. Okay, now we get the structure of CH3, C, triple bond C, CH3. Clear? So, we learnt about hydrocarbons and we saw the classification of hydrocarbons. Then we learned to write the condensed formula and molecular formula of organic compounds. Then if condensed formula are given, we learn to draw the structure of that particular compound. Clear? We will learn more about hydrocarbons later.
3 ലക്ഷത്തിലേറെ വരുന്ന ചോദ്യോത്തരങ്ങൾ ഏറ്റവും കുറഞ്ഞ ചിലവിൽ സ്വന്തമാക്കുവാൻ ഉടൻ തന്നെ ഡൗൺലോഡ് ചെയ്യൂ എൻക്ലാപ്സ് ദ ലേണിംഗ് ആപ്പ്.